Alright, so I wanted to, as I said in the title, I want to go over what I currently think about Helldivers 2 in its current state. I feel like Helldivers 2 has gone to such a point, it's more of a chore to play it. I want to enjoy Helldivers 2, and I did back like a year ago, but ever since like all the new updates, like Escalation to Freedom, the what was the other one? The Automaton update with Cyberstand, it's just been going downhill. There's been more bugs that they haven't fixed, more nerfs to our equipment that we didn't need. The devs are more focused on with monkey's paw balancing than actually fixing the game. We want mech buffs, we get mech buffs, but in the worst way possible that makes them even weaker than before. Like Helldivers are meant to be these elite soldiers, like they're the space marines of this world. And yet they're treated worse than like the Acadians from Warhammer. At least the Acadians get equipment that can sometimes work. At least they don't get missiles that fly all over the place and barely deal any damage. It's a constant cluster cluster truck of hey, we want this buffed. They buff it, but then they nerf something else that makes the buff completely meaningless or even worse. It's a constant shit show. It seems that no matter what the community wants, the devs are gonna take it, make it worse, or implement it in the worst way possible, so no one's happy in the end. Like if you compare like Helldivers to say, I don't know, Deep Rock in its like gunplay. The guns are good in that game. There's no outwardly bad guns. Every gun in that game has a purpose. Like it has its job, and it doesn't like add 50 million like counter nerves that make it useless. It does what it does. The minigun works for high single target damage and decent area control. The autocannon deals high area control, but sometimes lacks a bit in like heavy output to a single target. But it works. It's not like the spear in Helldivers that sometimes one shots Bile Titans and then sometimes just whiffs completely and hits like a random thing. It's not like the autocannon in Helldivers whiffs a shot just because it decided to. It's like a, and also the rocket system would be a better comparison. The rocket system goes where you aim, and then it tracks. It doesn't do some stupid fly all over the place in 15 random different directions, and then decide to hit. It just hits. If you aim your target and hold it on, it's gonna hit it. You also get a ton of ammo with it, which unlike the spear, I shouldn't be really comparing because they've, but the spear just sucks. They try to make it better, but they don't fix the actual problem with it. No one's complaining about the damage of it. Well, a few people are, but like the damage isn't the bad thing. It's the stupid lock-on mechanism that makes it not hit weak points to actually use its all that damage. The spear should be a should you should be able to manually aim the spear or have it track where you're looking like the commando. Not oh hey I'm gonna lock onto this target then pray to God that it actually hits it on the head or the weak point I want it to. It should just fly in a straight line. Not some oh I'm gonna look over to the left here and oh I've complete now the spear's useless. I've wasted my one of my 4 shots on a Palatine that's gonna take 3 now because it can't lock on. It doesn't even lock. You can't even use it in close range because the thing will just fly over the thing because it's too close range. And that's the issue with all lock-on weapons. They don't immediately shoot out of the gun and lock on. They just shoot. They lock on, and then take a second to actually aim. It's stupid. Like why would I choose the spear over over like the commando or the recoilless? Because at least with those, I know where I want to aim. The bullet doesn't like fly off in a random direction. It goes where I want it to. It's just completely moronic how they've designed this thing. And what about the mech? Yeah, I'm gonna get onto the mechs now. The monkey's paw balancing on the mechs is absolute bullshit. I'm gonna be honest. You're telling me that we can't the mechs, this super powerful thing, a mech can't be stronger than like an automaton Hulk. It doesn't make sense. Super Earth is if the automatons are willing to sound out like 10 Hulks to kill 4 helldivers, why can't our mechs be as strong as like at least 3 Hulks? I just don't get it. How is our stuff cost more and more expendable than a Hulk when they can send out tons of those things? Like tons of factories all at once. We have factories on Super Earth and like a ton of other places. There's probably just as many as like the automatons have. Maybe not to the same degree, but at the very least, it should be like only for every like 5 Hulks the automatons make, we should be getting at least 1 mech. Not some, oh hey, your mechs are medium armor constantly without a brink of heavy, even though they're built slightly. Even though a Hulk can have full heavy besides one gigantic weak point on the back, that honestly rarely comes into effect. Because it's not like the Hulk gives you time to turn to face it. It just instantly turns around to hit you. You don't get any time to actually turn on the weak point unless you're facing the complete opposite way. It's stupid. And the tank nerf is just absolute. Why do the tanks get heavy armor on the weak point? The part that's meant to be weak. At least the mechs were all weak. At least the mechs didn't have a random insta-kill weak point. But I don't even know. Fuck. When you're playing a mind game with a tank and you're all running around it trying to get to the weak point, and all of a sudden your weak point is now as strong as the tank. So there's hardly any reason to go over to it now because why would I do that when I could just bring a heavy weapon? And that's the issue. Whenever you want to play Helldiver, you're stuck to a very specific loadout. It's always heavy anti-tank. Because you can bring a turret, maybe not anymore because they nerfed it to high health with this new durable damage stuff so they could pre-nerf mechs for some ungodly reason. But you can't even use them. You want to use you could try to use the flamethrower, but the buffs weren't enough because the enemies still just run through the fire. They might get panicked, but that doesn't stop the Terminids from just running towards you in a straight line, getting panicked for a single millisecond, and then in their panic state, flail around with their arms, and then it still delete half your health. Because that's also still really fun. I remember back when the game first released, you could take like 5 hunter hits. Now you're lucky if you can take 1 without needing to instantly stim, because they deal like 60 damage per hit. I get Helldiver's meant to be expendable, but to the point where a Siege soldier can take more hits from a hunter than an elite soldier is absolutely ridiculous. They're talking about realism, but it's only realistic when it applies to us. Oh, the mech can't be heavy armor, else it would collapse into the ground under its own weight. Well, how does the Hulk work? How is the Hulk with heavy armor and smaller legs able to run faster than the mechs, have more armor, with only one small weak point? It doesn't make sense. If they want this realistic thing, it should apply to everyone, or apply to no one. Not some, okay, I've officially decided that now, this arrowhead, the arrowhead sees like, okay, I've decided now that, our tank should collapse into the ground because it's so heavy. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, they're gonna nerf the tank again. They pre-nerfed it once already. They're gonna do it again. They're gonna say, oh well, it's actually pretty slow tank, so it should get stuck on basic terrain. Which is, they're gonna do it. It already does, and they're gonna be like, oh well, it can't destroy anything now, because like tanks, our tanks don't have suspension in them, so they're just gonna get stuck on like a random like 4x4 pallet now, while the automaton tanks are still able to clip through the earth. And that's still a thing. Enemies are still constantly clipping up buildings. they're clipping into everything, and no one can. The devs don't do anything to fix it. They just now fixed the flesh mobs clipping through buildings, and yet though it took them like a year and a half to fix an issue that's been in. Everyone's been talking. It's not like it's some unknown little thing like, oh hey, on the adjudicator, the last bullet actually does like a lot less damage. It's not like something minor that could easily be missed. No, it's they're clipping through the terrain like they're the stupid girl from the Marvel movies. They can just clip through anything now. It doesn't even matter. Oh, and yeah, our helipod steering gets nerfed to the ground. But when you look at the automatons, they're clipping up buildings still. That issue still hasn't been fixed. They're clipping into mountains, buildings on city maps, on their factory maps. They're still Vox engine. Vox engine's still clipping to the map. They just clip on top of buildings like it's nobody's business, and they still haven't fixed that yet. It can't be that hard to just make it just stick to the ground. It can't like even angle itself upwards. It could only be on flat ground. And that's how it should be. It's a giant ass walker. It's a giant like tank system. There's no way you should be able to scale buildings with such ease. If our tank can't be bothered to clip, if our tank gets stuck trying to maneuver around a stupid rock that it can't crumble, how are these things scaling mine shafts, scaling buildings with such ease? It doesn't make sense. Nothing about Helldivers makes sense for the enemies. They get so much leniency from the devs on what they can do that it's comical. They're a cartoon, pretty much. The enemies of Helldivers are the orcs from Warhammer. Their stuff shouldn't work, but it just does. If you might have noticed that I'm not even playing Helldivers. I'm just playing Far Far West, and that's because I'm sick of Helldivers. I can't play it anymore. I might play it once in a while to see if things have gotten better, but I can't like devote myself to an entire mission. It just gets too annoying. The second I try to do anything in Helldivers, the game either crashes or I just feel so weak. I get a mech and it's destroyed in 10 seconds because an automaton sniper rifle shot me from like 6 million kilometers away that I couldn't do anything about because the mechs like draw 10 million times more aggro and can be seen from 10 million miles away. The part doesn't even register. I'm 80% sure if you tried to register it from your point of view, a mech from the distance that cannon turrets shoot from, you wouldn't be able to see it. It'd be completely invisible. But no, because like the game devs are like, oh, we should like have it be realistic. It's stupid. It shouldn't be realistic. It's a game. Dead by Daylight wouldn't be fun. Well, I guess it's not fun now. But better example. Far Far West wouldn't be better if like you couldn't double jump or use a dash boost, and you had to just run around everywhere, and you had to manually you had to go to your mount every time you wanted to go on instead of just pressing X and boom, it's there. If Arrowhead was in charge of designing Far Far West, there would be no cards. You'd be super weak. The skeletons wouldn't even die when you killed them because they're undead. They don't take damage. It'd be something stupid like that. It would be so moronic. And they've tried to they probably apply this realistic shit that no one wants. It'd be ridiculous. You would try to you would like throw a grenade or use there wouldn't even be spells in the game. It'd be like some stupid 10-second call-in system that they have currently right now, where it's like, 10 seconds to call in, I don't know, a barrage on this enemy, and look, it's already moved. Good job, guys. My stratagem failed because I have to wait 30 seconds for my stupid ship to fly around the map, so it can actually get a target on, instead of just, I don't know, summoning the barrage directly above it. I don't get why they don't. Why doesn't the gun or the stupid stratagems just shoot from directly above like the support weapons do? They don't come in on like a 70-degree angle and then get stuck in a building. At least when it gets stuck in a building, it's from straight up. But no, it has to be realistic. Even though the enemies aren't, and their dropships constantly like clip through buildings. No, it's our ships can't. Pelican can't just drop off the mech. It has to like have like a jump up and down and go all around. It's stupid. Like, oh, I'm gonna sit and hover for 10 seconds while I try and find a spot, and oh, now your thing's destroyed. Yeah, tough luck. You shouldn't have brought it to the automatons. It's just stupid. This is an anger-driven rant because I want to enjoy Helldivers. I should be able to enjoy Helldivers. Helldivers should be like how it was back then, where like you didn't instantly die the second you got hit by a single hunter spit, tongue thing, or a single slash from any melee enemy. It should be like that. They want to try. They marketed this game as having overpowered weapons, but when we ask for the overpowered weapons, they're like, "Oh, it wouldn't be realistic for the minigun to penetrate heavy armor." Like, I don't care if it's not realistic. I want the minigun to penetrate heavy armor because I can't freaking move when I try to use it. If I can't move, I'll try to use the minigun. Why would I not pick like I don't know the machine gun? It does the exact same job, but I can move. It always comes like, why would I want to use this weapon when like everything else just sucks? I want to use the minigun because it looks cool, but it's outdone by any gun with medium armor penetration because you don't have to stand still for 10 seconds waiting to shoot the damn thing. At least let me move with the minigun, but give me more reduced reload. Give me reduced speed. I'd rather have that than to sit still while I do the same amount of damage as a I don't know a stalwart basically. You get all the worst qualities of the HMG with like the DPS of a stalwart on max firing range. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. If I wanted to have an unenjoyable time, I would be playing what's it called? Ready or Not. It's not that. I'd be playing a different game that's like hardcore and unfun for like any audience that isn't Sweat Lords. I wouldn't be playing Helldivers. If I wanted to play Helldivers, it's because I wanted to feel like a Space Marine, but have like cool support weapons and vehicles. But no, I can't get that. I have to play this stupid grunt fantasy that the devs want, even though they didn't market as grunt fantasy. When you say Super Earth Elites, and you say elites, people are like, huh, I should feel powerful, not, oh, I'm a shitty grunt that can't do anything to anyone because my weapons are so utterly awful. Like, if flamethrowers in real life were so powerful that operators had to wear oxygen masks so they could breathe while using it, the ones in Helldivers shouldn't be like doing 10 DPS. They should be like causing chargers to like full on stop in their tracks because it's such an intense heat. It's just miniguns should be ripping through medium armor enemies, not spending like 2 seconds each per grunt. It should be like they should be bypassing. They should be dealing tons of damage, not being forced to like sit still and do the DPS of a stalwart on max firing range. Because why wouldn't I just choose a stalwart? I get more ammo. I can move while shooting. And I can move on the go. I don't have to sit still for 10 seconds waiting to shoot the damn gun. And they only fixed it. They only fixed these changes when the community outrages about it. If it's on, it doesn't matter what it is. There could be an update where like you had one health, and unless they got like 80% negative reviews on Steam, they wouldn't change it. They'd be like, oh, it makes sense. Humans wouldn't be able to survive getting hit with a claw. Yeah, no shit, humans wouldn't be able to. But when you have body armor on and stims, it just also I hate the stim thing. Like every time you want to try and do something, like you take one hit of damage. Oh, I got a stim now because or else I'll just instantly die the second I get hit by anything else. I should be able to take 5 hits and then stim instead of taking one hit and then being forced to stim. Oh, I broke a bone. Great, now I don't have any. Now I gotta instantly stim because my leg broke and I can't play the game anymore because I can't move with a broken leg. I'm telling you, if Deep Rock Galactic had broken limbs every time he got hit by a bug, it would not be. It would not be as well received. Because you're constantly taking damage. Helldivers and everyone except the scout in Deep Rock, they take damage a lot, but they have a shield that can regenerate and makes it actually bearable to play. You don't feel like, oh, I got hit once, I gotta sit out the fight and heal for 10 hours a day. You can just, oh, my shield can take a bit of damage and I can run away using like my escape tools or disruption grenades. You can't do that in Helldivers. You take 1 damage, you gotta instantly use one of your 4 stims, no matter what it is. You could take 20 damage from like stepping on like one of those plant mines, and you'd have to stim because this hunter is gonna deal 80 damage, and I'm gonna instantly die. It's ridiculous. Helldivers 2 should be the Space Marines. It should be kind of hard on higher difficulties, but like not a slog fest. Because at its current rate, Helldivers is just unenjoyable. Try like a majority of the player base. And the glaze divers aren't helping it. Whenever they make a shitty change, guess who's there to instantly glaze it? Like, oh, it makes it more realistic. It actually makes the game more interesting because you have to try harder. Like, I don't care about trying hard. I want to have fun. If I wanted to try hard in a super competitive game, I'd go play League and get pissed at my teammates. Instead, I'm getting pissed at the game design because it incentivizes everyone to split up. A team game should not be incentivizing everyone to split up and do their own thing instead of helping each other, like what Helldivers does. I should be like incentivized to run away from the entire team because I won't get as like because I'll be more useless. And that's why everyone also has to pick heavies because sure everyone can deal with like a couple basic ones because they're all medium pen. At least until the Hive Guard change that happened a few days back. But everyone's forced into like this anti-tank group because the best way to play the game is to split up from everybody. So you can't have like a loadout where one guy goes like crowd control and the other goes heavy because like everyone needs to be heavy because everyone's gonna split up. So people can take out the they can take out the heavy units on them with ease. You should get like bonus points if you're healing a Helldiver or you kill enemies within a Helldiver's radius because you're actively helping the team. You're not sitting around doing jack shit because the team doesn't want to help you. I know this rant doesn't make a whole lot of concisive sense, but honestly, it probably makes more sense whatever Arrowhead is smoking. Because you don't know what they're going to do. In 1 minute, they can make an actually decent change, and the next they'll be like, we removed it and replaced it with a 10 plus damage modifier on mechs. Have fun, loser. Burn. Don't have any fun. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to have fun in this game. You bought this with real money? You should have bought something else. It's stupid. I should not be... if Helldivers is trying to get people to get off the game, it's doing a great job at it. Because it is not... people are not wanting to stick around if they keep up with these awful changes. Like the Arrowhead Studios is gonna have to make a massive change to like actually listening to player feedback and not making the game insufferable if they want to actually see Helldivers finish. Because I feel like if they keep going down this path, the game isn't gonna be finished. It's just gonna end abruptly because they don't have enough money to fund the game development. It doesn't matter how much money they had on release; that's gonna dry up eventually. If no one's paying money up for war bonds, well, I don't know why they put the vehicles in the war bonds. I don't know why they did that. War bonds should have been kept like primary weapons only, with cool new sidearms. Not this shit where it's like one sidearm and then we put half the It should be 3 armor sets and 3 new guns, like they used to do. Not this, hey, we're gonna put 2 guns in here with stratagems that are super good, at least for a little bit, that are required to play the game. and then we're just gonna put that rest of the content in the superstore. You want a medium armor from that warbond? No, we're gonna put light and heavy in there, and you have to buy it separately for 200 super credits, which is an off. I hate that because why is the super shotgun locked behind some stupid warbond thing when it could just be in the warbond itself? But there's no support weapons. They wouldn't sell as much. I know that's for sure, which is why they're not doing it. They could also make warbonds cheaper, make them 500 super credits, since you're not getting that much content. Because if it costs 500 super credits for one armor, it's clearly too. It costs half a warbond to get like one different armor piece. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm gonna end this rant here because I can't talk about it anymore. My voice is getting too tired. I'm genuinely sick of everything that's been going on. So I guess my advice: find a better game. Go play Far Far West. Go play Deep Rock. Go play any other game that isn't Helldivers and has a dev team that has eardrums. Have a dev team that doesn't make garbage decisions every 2 seconds while trying to make an update. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end it off. Screw Helldivers. Screw Arrowhead.